Hi, I'm Bob from Broward County Libraries. Today, we're going to talk about Alexa in the public library setting. So you're familiar with voice assistants, I hope. You've seen all of them before: Amazon's Alexa, Google's Assistant, Apple's Siri, Cortana maybe from Microsoft you've heard about, or even Bixby from Samsung if you really took our class before. However, nowadays there's really only three big ones to really talk about and explore how they're interacting with the public. There's Apple, that has Siri, and that lives on your phone, and that's about all that does right now at all. You have Google with the Google Assistant. That lives on a bunch of different devices and in some cars and other things. And then you've got Amazon Echo, the Alexa. Now, Alexa is just a voice assistant. These are called smart speakers, and what actually works is the voice assistant that is part of them. So is this artificial intelligence? Well, let's ask her. Alexa, are you artificial intelligence?
I like to imagine myself a bit like an aurora borealis, a surge of charged multicolored photons dancing through the atmosphere.
Yeah, she's not really artificial intelligence. What these machines really do is deep learning. They take that algorithm, they learn how to understand our voices, they send that out to the cloud, it comes back to us, and it gives us back a response for it. Now, all these devices live somewhere, and for the most part, all of your devices at home live on your phone again. That's not going to work in a library setting, though, will it? You're going to need some sort of device. Amazon has a wide range of speakers out there, anything from the Echo Dots that we use to much nicer, higher quality stereo speakers to video devices and things like that for your car, all sorts of stuff. Google has obviously the same sort of devices and able to run on the same kind of speakers and also in some outside things, primarily in automobiles is where Google has concentrated their information. Now, that's not really going to work so well for us in a library setting to worry about all these different things. What we are more worried about in a library is security and privacy. So as people are walking around with their devices and they're able to speak and do things into them, for example, a set of headphones, whether that's your over-the-ear or your earbuds, that somebody's going to have in and be able to bring up their Siri or Alexa or their Google Assistant. Those, again, are going to be stuff that our customers are using to interact, but they're not going to be something that we as librarians want to have for our customers to use in the library personally. We've always had that issue of how loud can you talk in the library? Do you really want them talking? Well, now we don't have an option. People are used to using these assistants, and we're going to adapt. So how does the library happen? What happens with the library is we take our apps, we take those ideas that people are using at home, and we further develop that to make it customized to a library setting to take into account our security and privacy settings here. And as you add more and more of those devices in, as you add more and more of those interactions, it really becomes a lot more complicated to take care of all those things. So here in Broward County, we decided to take a look at the big three and figure out which would be best to set up for our customers to use on our public service desks. Apple allows almost no customizations right now. Google barely allows any customizations, and for privacy has no real good settings to be used in a government setting like this where you have the general public walking around and doing things. Amazon is really the only company right now that's providing that kind of ability to present people's information in a secure fashion and actually stop even Amazon from getting that information. I'm going to talk about that in just one moment. But what do we know about what these devices actually gather up? Alexa, where can I get a good pizza?
I found a few top-rated pizza shops. There's Carcioni's Pizza, 0.1 miles away on Southeast 1st Street, Osteria Aqua and Farina, 1.4 miles away on South Federal Highway, and Riverside Market, 1.6 miles away on Southwest 12th Avenue. You can ask me for things like, what's the phone number for the first one?
And so if you were doing this at home, she would have offered to let you buy that. That doesn't happen here in the library. The library's not going to foot the bill for your pizza. Sorry about that. However, what we do have the ability to is to create all sorts of additional layers of security for our customers by doing this. By going to the Alexa for Business platform on Amazon, we've been able to take all of our Echo Dots. We have over 100 of these now throughout the library system on all sorts of public service desks all around. And we've been able to set up security settings to prevent anyone from accessing our devices by setting them up on a separate Wi-Fi network. You didn't think your phone was totally secure if you're on Wi-Fi, correct? What we've done is made sure that nobody can snoop on your information going back and forth because we've got a private secure network just for our Echo devices. We've made sure that all of those security features are enabled for privacy also, that personally identifiable information for our customers. We want to make sure that we are tracking exactly what is being saved and what's not being saved. I'm certain you've heard all the news stories and you've seen an article about, oh, Amazon's recording everything that happens around you and is keeping all that information and sending it up to the cloud. And see, they're sending you a new advertisement just based on what you listen to. No, that doesn't really happen. If you ask any real app developer, they'll tell you all they can barely get out of these devices right now is some basic information about the requests that you send in, and that's it. It's just a scare tactic. It's a very cool movie thing to show them sneaking in and listening to you at all times, and for some computer hacker to break into your system and be able to take this device and listen in on all of your conversations, or break into Amazon and listen to all of your conversations. I will give you, Amazon is saving your conversations at home unless you've changed that setting. The default is for Amazon to save all those settings. In the library system, we don't choose to do that. We don't allow Amazon to even get the information in the first place. They don't allow to store any of our information, to keep any of the voice recordings on any of our devices. However, you do need to be able to have some extra things on there to stop people from being able to access them in other ways that you might not think about. You might have heard of a hack recently over the last couple of weeks where it just takes one click on an email to hack into your Echo and steal all the information off of it. That is sort of true if you already have the Echoes installed and running their special app that they convinced you to install, and later that day they send you a phishing email that you can then click on to then give them additional permissions, and then they can steal the information you've already stored on your Echo. Yeah, exactly. No, this is not a simple one-click thing. And oh, by the way, a hack like that has to be reinstalled every single day on your phone and on your Echo for it to work. It's not something that you really have to worry about as a person. There's a very cool hack that you could think about, because these microphones on here could be activated by a laser. If you haven't thought about that, lasers just would hit the microphone here and make it sound just like a voice is hitting there, and they could activate that device. I don't think anyone's putting a laser on the ceiling in the library to try and hack into my devices. I think I would notice those people installing those. And we don't have any of our devices next to Windows. If you're thinking about that idea, we'll hack it into Windows. It doesn't really work that way. There are some basic security precautions you have to take care of if you're at home. And take our Introduction to Voice Assistance class. It's up on the web, and you can come and see all those things we've talked about for there. But how I specifically protected our devices here for the library system, we took a setting and said, we're going to use the Alexa for Business platform. That controls all the skills, that controls all the information that you need to have on these devices. And we also set up a secure network, as we mentioned, for that. And to further even give us another layer of security, we don't run on the regular Amazon servers. We run on the secure Amazon.gov servers out of Virginia that are encrypted so nobody can get the information that's based on our Echoes and get anything out of it. And I mean anyone, not even us in the library, have access to these things. All we can do is access the dashboard to see generic questions that have been asked, because we don't even know who's asking these questions. Every one of these devices has a name. As an example, Margate Library Checkout Desk. Really generic, really straightforward, protects our customers' privacy, keeps the security level high because we have it on our secure network at the desk, and that's all we ever know. When I get my reports, I'll show you an example of those shortly. We can get an example there of exactly what questions were asked at that particular spot, but we don't know who asked them, and we don't know anything more about that. However, one of the things that you can do is use these devices to really help your customers by giving them that notice, by giving them that comfort level of being able to interact with these devices, knowing they're in a secure setting, knowing there's no personally identifiable information there available to them, and they can ask all sorts of great questions and get lots of help. Alexa, where are the books on China?
Audible lets you experience books in a whole new way. To try one, ask me to read The Hobbit or The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, not replacing a librarian anytime soon, is she? One of the things you can use these for, though, is language translation. That was the main impetus about us getting these devices. Part of what we call Project Welcome. Welcoming people into the library and helping them in their own native language as much as possible. Alexa, how do I say welcome to the library in German?
Welcome to the library in German is
Willkommen in der Bibliothek.
Alexa, how do I say I need to see your library card, please, in Spanish?
I need to see your library card, please. In Spanish is
Necesito ver su tarjeta de biblioteca, por favor.
So you can see where we can get information from our customers, we can help them back and forth. Now, a nice bonus to all these is because these devices only take information in English, we've discovered that if you use these in your citizenship classes or in your English as a second language class, that these work great with your customers and trying to help them learn how to speak English better or answer those questions that are going to be posed to them in English. In fact, if you try to speak to one of these devices with your accent too thick, it won't quite understand you. So it's been really nice to have people practicing how they could enunciate clearly in English to be able to ask their questions. It was a nice bonus that we found out as we were working along. As I said, nobody knows exactly what questions we're asking these devices. The only thing we really know is what generic questions they're asking. So at the Margate Library checkout desk, somebody might ask a question about music, or might ask a generic thing like, Alexa, tell me a joke.
Who was that Dutch painter who was famous for his portraits? I can't seem to remember it.
The jokes don't get any better, folks. I'm sorry. So what we've had right now is about 3,000 to 6,000 transactions a month on these devices throughout the library system. What that encompasses is all sorts of different generic questions, getting music, using some of the specialized apps. And I know you're thinking, wait a minute, earlier you said those apps won't work. You're right. What you really need to do is on your Alexa for Business platform, customize what skills you're going to allow to interact with your customers and what you're going to be able to allow on there in the first place. Nobody can just walk up and add any skill they want to our devices. They all have to be added through that business platform. And each of those skills has to pass our background checks to verify that they're not collecting any information from anyone. A really good example for you. If we wanted to do our weather app, you can ask her the generic weather, or you can get better information by using the AccuWeather app. Big Sky weather, you're saying, Bob, that's the better app to use. Well, the problem with Big Sky is it requires very specific, personally identifiable information, including account numbers, specific address, phone number, information we're not going to give it, information we're not going to have our customers give these devices. So we've banned that app from working on our devices. Other apps that customers have asked for, or librarians have asked for, Harry Potter. We have a Harry Potter skill that's very popular on our devices. The teens and the kids like using it, but the librarians probably are the ones using it more than anybody else. Another thing that our librarians are using are the alarms and notifications so that they can help each other with what time this device is supposed to be set for, to let somebody use a study room, or to when is the Time magazine due back at the reference desk. Things along those natures, staff have started really embracing that and using that, and the ability to call into the back room to bring out help by using echo-to-echo communication. You can set up any of these kinds of skills that you want on your dashboard, or if you want to do a customizable one with when are the library hours, when are you open, things like that. All you have to do is go to blueprints.amazon.com and you can set up your own customizable skills that will go back and forth to give all those individual information for your own library. I hope this all helped give you some ideas for what you can do with the Echo Dots in your library. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. CreationStation@broward.org. We'll see you then.